Hello everyone, Sableye here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing a match analysis of the final set at the Vancouver Regional Championships between myself and Abdullah, and I say we just get straight into things and start talking about the matchup a little bit. I'll do a lot more analyzing about what maybe I could have done better or different things, different ways to play it throughout the thing. For now, we're going to get right through the game, right into the game right here. Keep in mind, this is technically a game 3 because we did play in Swiss, in which Abdullah beat me 2-0. Once again, from the other side of the screen, just because this is the stream point of view, and this is the only angle I have of it. So, interestingly enough, you see Abdullah click protect on Lilligant right there. Obviously, they're going to mix it up and they make the correct play after that, right? But my concept here with Great Tusk and Fluttermane is I am trying to force 50-50s immediately. And my concept here is that if I can get the 50-50s right, break the Lilligant sash, I can actually win endgames. Here you're going to see me get this turn 1 wrong because I was expecting the Lilligant. I was expecting Abdullah to maybe read into the fact that, oh, it's too easy for me to go into Torkoal, so they won't protect, they'll protect the Lilligant and get something, right? Abdullah making a really smart play, knocking my Great Tusk down to Sash. And just eating up this Shadow Ball damage with the Torkoal because I got the side wrong. I would be very intrigued to see how this game plays out if I simply Shadow Ball the Lilligant though. If I Shadow Ball the Lilligant, I'm actually inclined to believe this game is a lot closer than it ends up being. But we're going to see my Earthquake go off. I'm basically going to clear the board. And that's what I was accepting with Great Tusk here. That's kind of what I was getting at. I'm like, you know what? He can't pick both. I'm okay clearing the board. Fluttermane's dead next turn anyways, whether or not I hit myself this turn or not. So if I can hit myself this turn and just take out a Torkoal, I'm not in a bad spot. I did mess up. I do think hindsight needs to hit the Lilligant right there. And I realized that going into game 2, that I need to start bullying down the Lilligant a little bit more. But here's an after you eruption, and down goes Fluttermane, down goes Great Tusk, guys. This is going to be probably a super quick analysis based on the match, but I'm going to do a lot more talking afterwards in this case, just because there's a lot more to this match, or to this matchup, I should say, than what meets the eye straight up. And obviously right now I'm getting absolutely slaughtered in game 1. Got that turn 1 wrong, right? Like if I hit Lilligant there, like if I hit Lilligant turn 1, I kill Lilligant, their speed control is gone. They're forced to bring in Great Tusk. Right, Scarf Great Tusk can come in all at once. I probably pivot into something like Arcanine, keep my Fluttermane around, and then have Bundle Flutter, and just probably try to win the set with Bundle Flutter, right? Just go Freeze Dry Shadow Balls, and that probably is a pretty solid spot, right? So that's where I'm saying, like, I think this game was like literally the read on turn 1. If I would have got the turn 1 read correct, I legitimately think I could have won this set. But obviously right now, it's a simple, nice little after you eruption from Abdullah's end, and now this is where I've realized that Lilligant is the problem. Torkoal isn't the problem because I have massive damage output into Torkoal, and unfortunately I realized it a little bit too late, but it's the Lilligant that becomes the problem. The Lilligant having that speed control, allowing Torkoal to launch these attacks off before I'm capable of launching attacks off, is where the problem ensues, right? Had I killed the Lilligant there, it becomes a lot easier of an endgame because from my end, and having played in Swiss right now, I know what Abdullah has in the back. Okay, it's going to be Fluttermane, it's going to be Great Tusk. Just that's how he plays this line into me. That's what it is, right? So here I'm in a little bit of a very very big disadvantage, I guess we'll put it, for lack of a better term. But at this point, it's basically I need to make a read happen here. At this point, it's probably over. I could go Icy Wind Flare Blitz, but if I go Icy Wind Flare Blitz, I lose Bundle, and losing Bundle loses me the game because I know Great Tusk is in the back. So my play here is basically I have to somehow kill Torkoal, but once again, Abdullah's super smart here. I wonder, actually, could I have won this if I protect Bundle here rather than, because right here I risk a Hydro Pump, right? And I'm saying I'm going to Hydro Pump right now into Torkoal. And I think I doubled Torkoal, which I actually think is a misplay. Because looking back at this, if let's say I protect Bundle here instead of just launching out a Hydro Pump. Let's just say that. Right? Because we're going to see the Hydro Pump. It's going to miss, unfortunately, but I don't think it matters, right? Because effectively speaking, I'm pretty confident Abdullah just kills off my bundle anyways, right? Pump doesn't go off. It is what it is. That miss I don't think matters. What I think matters is me not clicking protect here. If I protect right there, depending on where the Torkoal goes, right? See, I got this wrong. I was trying to double Torkoal, but once again, Torkoal isn't all that much of a... It's an eruption, right? Should at least at the very minimum here be an... Okay, so here's my thing, right? I didn't realize this while playing the game, but in hindsight here, had I protected bundle, Flare blitzed down the Flutter Mane, it puts me in a spot where I have Iron Bundle and Arcanine. I wouldn't have needed to Terra Water there. Like if I simply go free Flare Blitz, Terra Fire, kill off the thing and protect, they eruption, I'm in a spot where I can then have Great Tusk Torkoal versus Arcanine Bundle. And their Scarf Tusk, Freeze Dry, I believe, based on their spread, which is, I'm taking nail spread for this calc, is a 98% chance to 100. It's like a 98% chance to kill them, basically, or 93% or whatever to kill them. So basically, I would have Bundle left, Flutter Mane would have gone down, I would have been able to Freeze Dry the Great Tusk for the kill, and I would have been able to click Snarl. I think I still probably lose the game, because I'm pretty confident -1 eruption will still have killed off Iron Bundle there. And at that point, it wasn't going to be worth it for me anyways, but it would have been a whole lot closer in that scenario. I know a lot of you are like, Ryan, where's the Corviknight? Ryan, bring the Corviknight. You have a safety goggles Terra Dragon Corviknight. Bring the Corviknight. And my problem with Corviknight, and I'm just going to use this time in between games, guys. Normally I'd skip, but I have to talk about something, and this is a good time to talk about it. So my problem with the Corviknight is in game in Swiss, right? He brought Lilycole game 1 and King Gambit Terra Fire game 2. Now, if I bring Corviknight into the King Gambit lead, I have lost the game. Terra Fire King Gambit absolutely destroys my team, almost more so than the Lilycole lead, surprisingly enough. So in the moment, maybe like, it's a line that I think is fine, and it's a line that I can definitely bring, but it's not a line that I have mapped out at the time of this match, right? So at the time of this match, my game plan is forcing 50-50s here. And whether it's the most optimal game plan for me, I'm not certain. I'll talk a little bit more about Corviknight in a sec, but like right now, we're just going to focus up on the... We're going to focus up on the game at hand here. This time, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just click Torkoal. I'm just click Earthquake. You know what? I'm going to click Earthquake again. It makes a lot of sense. And I'm probably losing Flutter Mane, but because he's not going to make the same play, right? So this time, I've attempted Shadow Ball into Lilligant and just, once again, Earthquake to clear the board, to chip the board down. Nothing too crazy. Eruption's going off. I'm losing Flutter Mane. Great Tusk on Sash, and Earthquake comes out. See, I could have Terra grounded here. But once again, I don't need to kill Torkoal. Killing Torkoal doesn't help me because then they have Lilligant plus a Great Tusk on the field, and that puts on too much pressure. I can't bring in Bundle until Lilligant is gone, and Bundle needs to be on the field when Great Tusk enters. So killing Torkoal there is actually not optimal for me. This is probably the optimal spot in my opinion. Right? We get Arcanine out. I could have, in theory, like, hard switched into Arcanine there and like close combated Lilligant sort of thing, right? And then had my Flutter Mane still. But the problem is Flutter Mane can't protect in the end game, whereas Great Tusk can, right? I mean, I guess I could have led Great Tusk Corviknight, which in theory, looking back at it, is arguably better. But my game plan is that I don't want them to buy themselves turns in this scenario. I want to just kind of go after Lilligant right now and just take things down. Torkoal, gonna go for the double protect. I'm okay with that. I don't think the double protect there is amazing play from Abdullah, but once again, it is by far their safest play. Just looking to see if my Great Tusk is indeed going to protect or not. But now I'm in a spot where I actually like this endgame, because what's about to happen here is they're gonna have to find a way to kill Great Tusk and Arcanine, right? So they're gonna go for the after you. Of course, I'm gonna go for the double protect. If I get it, I'm actually in a beautiful, beautiful position. Unfortunately, I do not. They go after you. The Eruption, they're going to Eruption just to get a little bit of chip on the Arcanine, and it will obviously kill off the 1 HP Great Tusk at this point. And my Flare Blitz is going to kill the Lilligant. And now we're in a spot where, once again, we've forced a game-deciding 50-50. And Flare Blitz is going to come out, kill Lilligant. And here's the next play, right? Because Flutter Mane comes in, Iron Bundle comes in. Here's the concept, right? We've got Flutter Mane coming in from their end. We know it's probably a Scarf Great Tusk in the back. Obviously, once again, hasn't revealed it in this set. But based on the way they've played the set that we played in Swiss, this is my line now, right? I know there's a Great Tusk in the back, and this is where things get interesting. So here's one of those ones I know I cannot lose Iron Bundle. So I have to either protect Iron Bundle or go after it. Now, the question becomes, realistically, I have to call what Torkoal does. Very smart. They're going to Flamethrower, right? Yeah. And because they're going to Flamethrower, I have to protect Bundle. I can't afford to lose Bundle here. I could have gone Icy Wind, Flare Blitz, but if I Icy Wind and Flare Blitz, I lose the game. I could have also Icy Wind Snarled, but Icy Wind Snarl loses me the game if I miss a Snarl, miss an Icy Wind, whereas So, I'm going to Terra Water here. I think this is a mistake. I have to call whether or not they decide to Power Gem or actually just hard call my Terra and click Moonblast. It was a very, very, very smart hard call on the Terra by Abdullah here, because they do opt for the Moonblast, which is an incredible play. And here's the thing, right? If I don't Terra Water here and I stay a Fire type, I've just won the game, right? Because my Flare Blitz would be going off into Sun, into Specs, Flare Mane, it would be down, and they Flamethrower it into Bundle, right? So at that point, Flutter Mane's gone. Great Tusk gets Freeze Dried the next turn, and Flare Blitz goes into Torkoal, right? The game is effectively won at that point for me. However, very, very smart play from Abdullah to make and correctly call the Terra, right? At that point, there's no playing that one out for me, right? That's just an absolutely incredible game strategy, great game calling, great plays as well, right? Like, just realizing, like, I was also expecting there was a chance for them to go for, like, a safe Shadow Ball as well. Just absolutely incredible play by Abdullah. Absolutely well-deserved victory there. By far played that one better than me. And just was on a tear all weekend. Much deserved. And unfortunately, looking back at the game afterwards, I definitely have a much better strategy going into that set. And unfortunately, I didn't analyze that at the time. But we're going to analyze that right now. And my better line, right? Here's the thing, right? My better line is everybody was asking me why not to bring Corviknight. At the time in the finals, I had no time to prep in between top 4 into here. I win my top 4 set. They pulled me immediately backstage to do the players interview. Like the finals hype interview with Abdullah. That's fine, right? They wanted to rest that long, and then straight back to the stage. So my prep time was basically non-existent, right? So I'm on very limited prep time, and I'm obviously not trying to use that as an excuse, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to let you guys know my kind of perspective of how I was thinking about this, right? So my concept based on Swiss in game 1, or Swiss rounds, I should say, was game 1 they brought Lilycool, throttled me. I actually almost won in Swiss, but I had to make a call on whether or not the Terra Ghost Iron Bundle or the Terra Flying my King Gambit. Yes, I brought King Gambit in Swiss. I don't think that's the right play. But anyways, I had to make a call between King Gambit or Iron Bundle on the Terra. I actually got the call correct, but for whatever reason, the game decided it didn't want to work, and Iron Bundle never got the Ghost Terra off, so I lost that game. I don't think it would have mattered. My game plan into Abdullah in Swiss was almost worse than my game plan into Abdullah in finals. Definitely not a good game plan. Abdullah, once again, deserves every little bit of credit for winning this game, but there is things I think I could have done in this scenario that would have had a little bit better of an impact. So immediately, and my game plan here was to just force the 50-50s. Now, I don't think forcing the 50-50s looking back on things is actually correct. But at the moment, my brain said, hey, forcing 50-50s here, chipping off Lilligant early and getting into a spot where I just need to get 1 or 2 calls right to win this set feels decent enough to me because I know the matchup is so poor. Now, looking back on things, if they're leading Lilycole and I'm leading Great Tusk Corviknight, right? If I immediately Terra Dragon and I click Protect, let's just say, the problem is I can't Tailwind to be faster than Lilligant. So Tailwind doesn't work for me here. So I have to Terra Dragon, and I almost have to Brave Bird into... I almost have to Brave Bird the Lilligant immediately. I Terra Dragon, I Protect, but the problem is, once again, then all they have to do is Protect there, and then they're clicking Eruption, right? So it's one of those ones where I guess I could also just attack with Great Tusk as well, dropping a Headlong Rush into Torkoal, like Terra Dragon and Headlong Rush. The problem becomes is if they put me to sleep. And this is what I was trying to avoid, and this is why I didn't want to lead Corviknight Great Tusk in finals. Because if I lead Corviknight Great Tusk, and I go Terra Dragon, Brave Bird, and Headlong Rush into Torkoal, and they put my Great Tusk to sleep and click Eruption, I am in just as bad, if not a worse spot moving forward, right? Because if I go Corv Great Tusk, I have to drop one of Bundle, Flutter, or Arc. I would probably have dropped Flutter Mane, right? So it would be Corviknight, Great Tusk, Bundle, and Arc. And I would have Bundle, Arc in the back. And what would happen is they put me to sleep. I Brave Bird, I bring their Lilligant down to Sash. Torkoal obviously still at full health, fires off that first Eruption, which is arguably correct, right? And I bring them to Sash, that's fine. I get hit by Brave Bird recoil, and I still get hit by Eruption. Like, Eruption in the sun, especially if they Terra Fire, still hurts Corviknight, guys. It still hurts Corviknight. I'm gonna be honest with you here. Like, it's not like, oh my goodness, it doesn't hurt me anymore. But, like, it still hurts Corviknight. Like, I'm probably, after recoil and the Eruption, I'm probably down to below 50%, right? So let's just say that happens. Now I'm asleep. Now I have a Corviknight on the field. Now what they can do, depending on the damage output, if after you Eruption is going to kill my Corviknight, which it very well might, they can simply go for that, and I am basically screwed at that point. It's no better of a position for me than I was prior. However, forcing that not only takes the calls out of the game for me, it also gives them a chance to simply miss Sleep Powder or be scared of missing Sleep Powder and not wanting to click it, right? So like what I have there going for me is the fact that I'm immediately effectively taking out a call that I have to make, and I'm leaving the call in their hands as to if they want to click attacks or if they want to click Sleep Powder, right? So I have that going for me, whereas the other way I kind of have to make the calls immediately starting from turn 1. So I do think something like Corv and Tusk actually is a valid switch up, especially because one of the main reasons I'm not bringing Corv is because of the King Gambit and the Flutter Mane. And if they're going King Gambit Flutter Mane mode, Corviknight is useless there, right? And once they have, if they are smart enough to adapt and bring King Gambit in the back, or even just bring King Gambit at all and just protect it well, like, I can't break that. And that's what happened in game 2 of Swiss. I brought my Corviknight and I got shredded. Now, I think I brought the wrong 4 in game 2 of Swiss. I don't think I brought the correct 3 alongside the Corviknight. So I do think Corviknight has merit here. In the finals, basically what I'm saying is it felt super, super strong for me to just try to force the reads. Once again, I didn't have the time to really prep and sit down and run the lines, right? Like, I feel like the Corviknight Great Tusk line is probably overall better. However, in the moment, my best play, or the best play I had running through my head in that scenario, was to actually try and force the 50-50s. And as you can see, I got them wrong. But I legitimately think if I can get some of those 50-50s right, like if I get turn 1 right in game 1, the entire game ends up being completely different. And if I get that Arcanine turn right in game 2, we actually win game 2. So I still want to stand by the way I played the game, but I'm not going to sit here and say that maybe bringing Corviknight would have been the worst thing in the world, right? Because I was pretty adamant that, Corviknight was just wrong over the course of like the next few hours after that, after the finals. But looking back and actually correctively analyzing the game, I do think something like Corviknight Great Tusk Bundle Arc, or Corviknight Great Tusk Bundle Flutter, depending on how I feel or depending on how I see the set go, really comes into effect there. But I am a player that plays based on feeling, and at the moment, because I didn't have a good feel for my Corviknight line, I went for the Arcanine and the whole Fluttermane thing, and just to kind of force the 50-50s and try to get the feels right and get the calls. I got the calls wrong. It's unfortunate. Super well played to Abdullah. Much deserved champion. Great guy. Absolutely phenomenal player. Showing up to your first event, absolutely dominant, right? Just huge congrats to Abdullah, and also shout outs to Pokemon. It's a really cool graphic. I'll be honest here, absolutely incredible graphic. Love the graphic. Anyways, besides the point, guys, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna stop rambling. Unfortunately, I was incapable of getting it done. Couldn't take it all the way home. Did finish second at the Vancouver Regional Championships. If you missed out on the team report, it'll be over. Oops, arrow's going the wrong way. It'll be over there somewhere. Of course, if you do enjoy the content, really would appreciate a like and subscribe. It does help out the channel immensely. And of course, thank you all so much for checking out the video, and I will catch you all in a future vid.